Give us grace to cast away the works of darkness and to put on the armour of light. I love these words from the collect of the first Sunday in Advent. As a boy, they always conjured up an image of one of King Arthur's knights setting off on a quest, wearing shining silver armour and riding a snow-white horse. It was only much later that I realised that the light we were asked by grace to accept is the light of the world, the light of Christ, the light which can transform the very darkest of places through kindness and care, things which require neither a suit of armour, a sword, or a lance. The 5 Advent candles of the wreath can stand for hope, peace, love and friendship, Mary, and the last one, the white one, which we move towards the centre of the wreath to light on Christmas Day, is the light of Christ, the armour of light, freely given and ours to take and use as we will. This being the 3rd Sunday of Lent, we're invited to try on the armour of love and friendship. I began to think about this and to wonder what Jesus did to show friendship and love to the people he walked with. Jesus, of course, had the 12 disciples who followed him, and there were also other friends in the group, both men and women, who walked with him. Jesus washed their feet. He sat and ate and drank with all kinds of people. He shared bread and fishes and wine with them. Some of these people were poor and lowly, some important and rich, and some were the forgotten and the outcasts of society. Jesus talked with people in their homes, on the hills of Galilee, by the shores of the lake. He spoke to the people in parables, and he shared his gift of healing with them. He healed not only bodies, but he also healed and changed minds. I cannot remember in all the Gospels a time when Jesus turned anyone away. I see Jesus as a man whose hand is always outstretched, a hand to lift the weary, a hand to comfort with a gentle touch. I've always imagined Jesus as a man of few words, or at least someone who chose his words very carefully, and as a man who smiled, who had a gentle smile. His words, his touch, and his smile were what he gave to people in friendship. He had little else to give. You don't hear of Jesus having any possessions, and so he had nothing of intrinsic value to give to anyone. Instead, he gave gifts that were priceless. Hope, peace, love and friendship. Those simple things which light up lives and bring light to the world. Uwaldi, a young African girl, listened carefully as her teacher explained to the class why it is that on Christmas Day Christians give each other presents. The gifts we give are about friendship and they're a reminder of the birth of Jesus, said the teacher. A few days later, on Christmas morning, Uwaldi knocked on her teacher's door. In her hands, she held a beautiful seashell, which she handed to the teacher, saying, "This is my Christmas present to you." The teacher gently held the shell and said, "Thank you. Wherever did you find such a beautiful shell?" Uwaldi told her that there was only one place where these shells could be found. When she named the place, Kumalo, a lovely bay some 6 miles away, the teacher was speechless. "You went all that way to find me this gift? You really shouldn't have gone so far for me." The young girl looked up at her teacher with brightening eyes, smiled, and slowly answered, but the long walk is part of the gift. The simple gift of a shell suddenly becomes a priceless one. I was reminded this week of this story because of a Christmas song that I love, which I've not heard for a while. It's The Little Drummer Boy. In the song, the boy makes his way to the stable crib, and when he sees what the kings have brought for the baby, he feels that he has nothing of value to give. How can he match these precious gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh? So he sits and he just plays his drum. And when he does, Mary smiles. He has brought a gift of great value, the gift of happiness, love, and friendship. We all give gifts, and we all receive gifts, some that we value, some which we lose, some that we cherish, and some which we don't want. In Advent, we're reminded of many things. One is of the gift that we should never take for granted. This is the gift of grace, the gift of the armour of light. Give us the grace to cast away the works of darkness and to put on the armour of light.